Hi everybody, welcome to Cedaria Innovations. My name is Cedar Eagle, and today we're going to be doing an install video on an old Coleman with my canoe end cap accessory mounts. Thought I'd better show you since it's one of the more in-depth canoes to install the end caps on. There she is, an old 15-foot Coleman with the big end caps. Bulletproof canoes. Pretty well everyone's seen one of these, used one of these, or has one in their backyard. As you can see, I've already started cutting up the end caps. We'll see what that's about in a minute. Took apart the front. This is all to save time for the videos. Over here is what we're installing. So that's a main structure with a cleat option. Main structure for the front with a cleat option. Traditional point with an axle insert for portaging and running my figureheads on the front. And for the back one, I'm going to put a motor mount on this one. This end cap, typical canoe end caps, are usually a fast install. Just slide it over, drill the holes through the gunnel, put your bolts in, you're off. Not this guy, he's a lot more in depth, so it's kind of a permanent addition to the canoe if you do what I'm doing. You're not taking it off every time, like these other canoes. You can take it off and save the weight. But they're also bulletproof old heavy tanks. The weight shouldn't be an issue for what it's offering. Alright, let's get this video underway. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I'm going to set up the camera up here. Using impacts just because it's quicker. You can use hand tools. It's only 3 or 4 screws. I'm going to take this flathead out on the bow. Two on the back to get the main plastic cap off. Get out of you guys' way here so you can see what's going on. This screw out, these 2 end screws. Now this is one piece, I've cut it already. We're going to remove it. So that's your plastic cover end cap. You don't need that anymore. For the Expedition Armor, you can cut this piece, the main end cap, into Expedition Armor to fit. And I'll show you guys how that works here towards the end of the video. We'll get some measurements. Next, we're going to take this off. They'll support at the front. My mounts are made of 14 gauge steel, so they offer a lot of strength. A lot more than this little piece of aluminum. Don't need this here, and it holds my design off the gunnels, which have to sit nice and evenly. Spread the load throughout the boat. Okay, nuts, bolts, that piece, don't need it anymore. Next we have the carry handle, right? There's a hole in the end cap, your hand goes through it, grabs the carry handle, it's nice and curved here. You won't have that option. The back of mine acts as a carry handle under the back. It's really nice. Easy spot to carry it, so we're going to take this off. It's just 2 flathead screws through the gunnels on each side. Next, we are going to drill that out to accept a rivet. I'll include 2 rivets in the kit for you guys. Wear safety glasses. These people. Alright, gotta go find my riveter. 2 long rivets. Going to come with the install kit for this design. Want to keep this. That provides a huge amount of strength and keeps the whole boat from warping and cracking. So just going to put a rivet in there. That's the one side. Give you a tour here in a sec. So what I'm doing right now is the heads of those screws stick out too far. My invention needs to stay flush with the gunnels and slide over the gunnels and wrap them and then screw through the aluminum part of the gunnels. But it hangs up on these screws here, so we're simply changing those to flat rivets. Still have the same strength. All these gunnels on these other boats are riveted on. It's just as good. Alright, show you guys what I did there. Just so the rivets sit almost flush. Letting us install the end cap. Okay, next we're going to pull this foam block out just for easy access to the nuts on the inside of my invention. Very difficult to get at with the foam block in unless you have tiny hands and arms. Okay, time for the main structures. Getting exciting now. So I'm going to show you guys main structure. See that little dot there? This is 3 1/4 wide. Half of that is 1 5/8. Make a little dot, a mark of any sort at 1 5/8. I run a chalk line across the boat. Bow to stern, perfectly center with the keels. Make a little Sharpie mark there. That gives you a way to line this up center so it's not mounted crooked, okay? And then your motor's crooked and it's pushing you off in a direction not perfectly straight, and the boat keel isn't breaking the water where the leg runs, so it's not as efficient as it should be if it's mounted crooked. I've already done all this, drilled my first 2 holes. So gonna be a little tight. This is definitely easier with 2 people, but I'll get her. Pressure. Slide my first 5/16 bolt through. Pressure. Second 5/16 bolt through. Yeah, I drilled these ones too. I'll give you guys a quick little tour of what I'm doing here though. Drilled into the gunnels. Slotted, so go as high as possible to catch as much of the gunnels as possible on any given boat. Some boats have vinyl gunnels, some have aluminum, some have wood. Go as high as possible. Definitely makes everything easier. There's your line-up marks. Come to this side. So I'm going to push these last 2 5/16 in. Socket, wrench. Not too tight, okay? You don't want them loosening, but you can check them as you go. Be on it for the first, couple weeks. I'm always checking them, just in case. You don't want to go so tight that you crack the boat, okay? You just want to gently squeeze in the aluminum gunnel. I'm going to go there, and I'm going to check it after I motor for a bit. Something else I'm going to mention. All these old boats get a oil can in, gunnels get bent. You know how canoes are, you old used canoes. Doesn't matter. Everyone's a little different. Even the shape changes. I think that's from factory. See how nice and tight that is? coming along the boat, that's a perfect fit. If it's not a perfect fit, if you've got a little gap in here, okay, you can simply, where your bolt goes through, you can add a couple of washers here between the boat and the bolt to take the space so you're not stretching the hull of the boat out, okay? So we'll do a video on that. I'm just showing you this one fits perfect. Not an issue this time, but something down the road that makes these designs far more compatible for a lot of different canoes. All right, now I gotta put it back together. There we go. I'm gonna wait on the top too. Show you guys the Expedition armor. You can actually cut up the end cap, existing end cap on this model, and use it to close up the back to keep the splashing water when you're motoring and white watering from the backs of the canoe, from washing in. Take this off, I'll show you guys here. So, and push, there, perfect. Sits flush here, you can put a little bead of caulk in, keep the water from washing in. Then you would simply put these two screws back in, like that. And that would be your Expedition armor. Give you guys a quick little tour. That slides under my design. Runs up flush. Then I cut an angle there just so it wasn't a 90 and square and catching things, and you know, just didn't look nice to snag on. There's also the second option, my Expedition armor. I'll show you guys here in a sec. But since this fits so nice and works really good with my mount on this boat, I'll get some measurements for you guys. You can make these work or get a hold of me and I can send pictures with the measurements. No big deal. So let's measure up from the back to where I do my first cut. It's 11 5/8. Again, 11 5/8. So we're going to measure up here. Make a line just this far in, not a right across. You don't want to cut it right across. 11 5/8. So draw your line here and here, just for the gunnel portions. How high up did I go here? I went 5/8 up. Better double check that. This tape measure is pretty worn out. 3/4 of an inch is perfect. So if you 11 5/8, 3/4 of an inch, down 3/4, cut. Take those angles off. Fits absolutely perfect. That's all you guys have to do. All right, a little sidetrack there, but this will be good for you guys to know down the road if you do the same job. All right, next we have Cedaria Innovations Expedition armor. An aluminum armor that goes on the back of the canoes. Locks in with my end cap accessory mount, just like that. It's different sizes and shapes for different canoes, but you guys get the idea. And that's just going to bolt on through the gunnels. So in this case, you see the two holes? That lines up to these two bolts for the cross brace. So we're going to pull those out. Expedition armor. Do this side first, line it up. 3 layers we have to line up that cross brace, the gunnel, and my Expedition armor hole. Definitely a lot easier if you guys can get a friend to help you do this. There. Perfect. Put the nut on. Flathead. 3/8 wrench. Nice and snug, lots of layers of aluminum here. Really strengthening up this boat. And tie it all together. Put the plastic piece back in. These two top screws. Alright, there she is. Absolutely beautiful. You can put some more bolts here if you're worried, but that's absolutely tight. Bead a caulking right there, we'll close it up. Next, you would install your chosen accessory. In this case, we're going to put motor mount on it. I'll just go there. 3/8 bolts will bolt it in place. And I'm going to put the front together, set it up for the portage wheel options. And we can go out and test this canoe on the river system, see how it does. It should be pretty well set up as an expedition canoe. Major upgrades. We're running motors, we're going to do some surfing, portaging. Absolutely awesome. Alright, thanks for joining me everyone, and I hope you'll join me for the testing videos of this boat. Let's do a little tour. Call her a night. Captain's seat. Plastics back on. A major upgrade to any canoe. Alright, I'll get that front done. We'll take a look at the finished boat, throw a motor on it, and then do some testing. Have a good night, everyone. Alright, there she is. Plastic cut into expedition armor, cleat option, cam cleat option, anchor kit. There'll be a separate video for anchor kits if you're interested. Figurehead. I use a prototype injection molding, so I did a copy of my original to see how it holds up in the real world. If it's good, then we can injection mold you guys figureheads. So take time to get all this done, but I am working on it. Beautiful boat, all ready for testing. All right, have a good evening, everyone.